What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brian from Brian's Custom Auto. Actually, you know what? No, it's your man Brian from Brian's Custom Auto, because we do eventually grow up in life. A little bit. Coming at you this week with another fun-filled, interesting video of paintwork on the F-150, the Harley Davidson one. It's already in there. Didn't get a video out this past week because we were on vacation in South Carolina. I did send up a short Mount Pleasant refuel. Okay. That's where we were when the whole lock mechanism deal was going on. And we did get that somewhat figured out as an idea. Signal jammer, key copying, whatever the case is. People, when they're out to steal cars, are always out to steal like higher end cars. Well, we were in my wife's BMW, and I mean, granted, it's not a Maserati, it's not a brand new BMW by any means. It's 2017, but it's still a nice enough car that people would be interested in it to take for parts, turbos, you know, that kind of stuff. And that's all we can figure is as to what was going on, was they were trying to copy the key or trying to, maybe, I don't know, have a signal jammer there. Your car's not cranking up. The guys that were sitting out there asking, hey, do you need a hand? Awful coincidental they were there. Could have been just nice guys. Could have been, hey, let me see if I can find your fuse box to find a blown fuse. Oh, it's not in your glove box, it's not in your center console. What else is in there though? And you don't know anything until you get away from there and you're already robbed. I don't have any idea what was really going on with it, but I do feel like me and my wife both feel like it was disingenuous things that they were trying to do with making the car not crank. And the funny part is it happened 2 days. The first day my wife stayed in the car. The second day we were all going to go in, and when you couldn't lock the car from the button, so yeah, if you we just felt like it was disingenuous things they were trying to do. So anyway, in the midst of all that, we come home to find that there was a storm while we were gone. And guys, y'all know I keep my boats parked down at the end of the property. If you look down there, you can see this one over here behind that tree. What you can see of it. My other one is right there. You can't see the boat because it's under that tree. So yeah, we got that to deal with now, which I think Top Notch is coming Friday, and they're going to cut that off of there, and we're going to see what damage happened on the boat. Now, one more thing to show you is I want to introduce the newest member to our family. So y'all know my little puppy died here a while back, and I said I wasn't going to have no more animals, but I couldn't not take this one. But I think I'm going to call him Tough. You tell me what you think. But here little guy is. Yeah, him's going to be so pretty. I'll post a picture right here. To show you what he's supposed to look like. So, anyway, say hey, Tough. Hey, Tough. All right, so that's the new little puppy. Like I say, I think I'm gonna call him Tough. You leave it in the comments below. Tell me what you think. He's young enough that by the time this video comes out, he probably still won't have a name. But anyway, so we're gonna get right on this. The hood's in pretty good shape, so I'm not gonna mess with the hood. It's good. Now, I do need to pull this grill out so I can get it completely worked down from all that, whatever happened there. And then I've got to do that whole passenger side over there in probably 180 back to 400 or 600. And I've got to do the same over on this side in a couple of areas. And then the rest of the truck I just need to go over in 400 or 600 and level it all out. And then we can go back over and paint it again. So that's where we're at, guys. I got in a hurry. I sanded it in 180. And for some reason, my stupid brain thought that would be okay. And I knew better. But it's all right. You guys can roast me in the comments all you want to. I deserve it this time. I did a stupid. getting in a hurry. But I always tell you, don't get in a hurry doing paint and body. Paint and body work is 90% preparation and 10% actual work. I tell you guys that, I show you guys that, and then I do this and do something stupid. So do as I say, not as I do kind of deal. Anyway, we're going to get right on it. Y'all know what sanding looks like, so I ain't going to go through all that and show you. I'll show you some progress as we go, okay? So hang tight. All right, everybody, we've got this thing sanded down. Not completely. Still got more to do. But we've got it sanded down in the 180 and 220. Now it's time to go to 400 and then see where we're at from there. I believe the Scotch-Brite will be after the 400, just depending. And then it'll be time to put the paint on here. And yes, we're going to do the grill shell first and let it just set over there and wait until I get done with the rest of that. But I want to see how good I can make the grill shell turn out and hope it don't bubble up, because nothing else on the truck bubbled. Just the grill shell. So yeah, let's see what we can do with it. So, but that's where we're at, guys. So y'all seen sanding 100,000 times. Knock the shiny stuff off, give it something to grip to, and then go with it. So, all right, hang tight. Amazon just stopped by, dropped me off a package. Let me show you. These little dudes. Now, I only need one, okay? And for those of you who don't know, they're made of plastic now. They used to be made of glass. But these are the little jewels that go in the tail light. Right in the middle. Okay? And it's a hot rod thing slash race car thing slash old biker thing. But it's a big... So that goes back to the 50s and 60s. Maybe even further than that. I'm not real sure. But I do know 50s and 60s for sure. I want to say I've seen it on 40s as well. So back nearly 100 years ago, I don't know how they did it back then, because taillight lenses were made of glass, right? And those little crystals were made of glass, and I think they would just glue them on. I'm not real sure. But there's a whole story behind it that says hot rodders started doing it initially in California. Go figure. That's where hot rodding really began, was California. And now you look at California and see what kind of crap hole it is. But anyway, but they would do that because it was harder for the law to see the tail lights. That's one story. And then the other one was they would put them on there just because they look cool, and it makes the tail light purple instead of red, which from a safety standpoint, red is such a bright and vibrant color, even back then, that the purple would dim it down to where you could see it through the fog a lot better. Kind of like yellow fog lights on the front of a car, the purple tail light on the rear, that kind of thing. And people would do it back in the 40s and 50s and 60s or whatever. And then the government came along and said, you can't do that. Well, then, when they tell you can't do something, guess what? Hot rodders say, screw you, we're going to do what we want to. Then it became an outlaw thing. So, if you don't know what the blue dot in the taillight means, look it up. It is one of the coolest things ever. And any hot rod that I own, any classic that I own, anything that's cool like that I own, not the Trailblazer, but anything old is going to have them dots. Minus the Mercury. And only because it's got a chrome bar that runs through the middle of it. It has to be in the middle, and it has to set right over the bulb itself. But, here a while back, I happened to get a lens for the Harley for free. So I'm not going to mess up that one by putting a blue dot in it. I'm going to get the replacement one that I've got that was given to me, which is exactly the same, and I'm going to put the blue dot in it. Because it's super cool on motorcycles just as much as it's super cool. Actually, you know what? I've got the second one. I might put the second one on Mr. G's chopper over there. That'd be awesome, won't it? So, yeah. So, sidebar, we're going to pause on this a minute. Let me get that other lens out. Let's put that blue dot in. And I'll show you what it looks like. Give you a before and after. Just for reference, here's before. Okay? All right, so you take said blue dot, mount it inside the little metal ring that's provided with you. Put the two clamps over like so. Then you take said tail light, and I used my handy dandy drill bits over there and started with very small, worked my way up until you get a perfect hole dead in the center, because you want that dot directly over the lens. Okay, went as big as I could with that until you have to use your step down bit. Be very, very, very careful, because it's so easy to oversize that hole. Okay, now once you get to that point, you have to blow away all your shavings, so that's what we're going to do. And then this simply sets inside like that. Kind of get the gist, right? But you don't want to put it in there till you blow all the shavings out. And then you have to reach in with a screwdriver and bend those flaps over for it to stay in. And then you're done. And just like that, that's how it looks on there. Now let's put the light to it and see how it turns out. There you go, purple dot install. That's the look you're looking for right there. And now keep in mind, guys, at night it glows beautiful. So, and with the brake light on, it gets even brighter. Anyway, now we'll get back to the other project. Right, so now that I'm back from running an errand and putting a blue dot in the Harley and, you know, sidetracking, now I'm getting back on this grill shell right here. We're gonna hit it with Scotch-Brite, then we're gonna Windex it and clean it real good, and then we're gonna spray it. So let's get to it. All right, everybody, it's a new day, and not that I'm ADD on this one. My buddy Jared from Top Notch Trees 23 on YouTube, go check him out. He bought my red Z71, you know, the one that had the metric speedometer in it. Anyway, he bought it, and after using it for his tree service for a little bit, it started giving him problems. So we're on our way over there now to fix some of said problems. He had to pull a head off and reset a valve. It hung a valve open and tore up a lifter and all kind of stuff. But he got all that taken care of, put new head gaskets on and all that stuff, and put the starter back on just to realize that the flywheel was missing teeth. So he had to pull the transmission back out to change the flywheel. So he changed flywheel and put the starter back on, and the starter was bad. Went to pull the starter back off and broke one of the bolts to the starter. So we're on our way over there with another starter that bolts in the secondary bolt holes. So I will show you what I mean by that when we get there. Fortunately, small block Chevys give you 3 bolt holes. You get 1 outer and 2 inners. So that way you can put a mini starter or whatever on. Well, it turns out that the Corvette starter for the 5.7 350 is a straight bolt hole versus the OBS Chevy truck is the angled. But I'll just show you when we get there. We are back. It's been a few days. Had some stuff going on. People in the hospital, heart attacks, all that kind of stuff. So if you don't mind, say a prayer for my extended in-laws. Not my extended in-laws, my extended family / in-laws. If you don't mind. Now, back to where we were when we left off. We painted the grill shell and it bubbled. And so I sanded it down with 400 again today and tried to go back over it and paint it again, and it somewhat bubbled again. I don't understand what is going on with this. Sand it, clean it, sand it, clean it, sand it, and it keeps coming back at the same spots. So maybe somebody knows something I don't. I mean, I don't know. I know black shows everything. But guys, you can look down that edge right there and see, like right here. Okay? Now that's not as bad as it was, but it's still there. Come on down here some more. Down here under this light, it looks like it's just being like gruffed or something. I don't know. But there, and we got a little spot there. Now, granted, that's a lot better than it was, because last time when I painted it, the whole thing bubbled all the way around and then all the way across the top. So we're getting somewhere. I guess I need to just keep sanding it down and starting over, sand it down and starting over. I don't know. Okay, we'll figure that out. Now, I went and bought some Duplicolor sandable primer that feels like scratches, okay? Yes, I know it's just a spray can, but let me show you why. The little cracks like this, what you can see here, if you can see them, get real close there. See them little cracks in it? That goes all the way down to the aluminum, guys. Now, what I did on this fender here, see if you can see how much better that looks. Now, there's no clear coat or nothing. I didn't go too crazy with this, but I sanded this fender down in 400, just about all the way back to the aluminum, right? Because if you remember, this whole entire fender was done like that. If you look right here, right there, it's still like that, okay? And you can see where it just kind of disappears out to some light sand scratches. And I'm not worried about those, guys. I still have more work to do on that. It's just, I'm trying something here. But these little cracks right here, it's all over the thing. As you can see, I done sanded this door back a lot and then wiped it dry. I've got to go back down with it some more. But it's just weird. I don't know what is causing that. Anyway, so what I did is I sanded this whole upper area here and sanded it with 400 and then Scotch-Brite. Now I need to go back over it with 600 still. But you look at how much better that looks now. Okay? Now keep in mind, I sprayed this with just Duplicolor just to get the black on there to see what it would look like. You know, to see if it got rid of the majority of those. You can see right there, they're still there. I didn't sand that. See? So I got to get all that out. But that's where we're at, guys. So I'm going to keep on working this down, get it almost all the way back down to the aluminum, prime it, and then paint it back black again. So, all right, everybody. So after a long day of work today, paint dust and stuff getting in my eyes and all kind of stuff, show you where we're leaving off for tonight. The grill shell is pretty much good to go. We're gonna let it set and cure and do its thing. And then the truck, we accidentally learned something today as we walk around it. Driver's side has not been touched yet. As you can see, passenger side has. All right. So, as you know, we're not messing with the hood because the hood's great. We got all the cracks out of the front fender. Got that other paint off of it. So that's good to go. But here's a prime example, guys. Here's the metal. And you see how far that stuff went down. But that primer will cover that. Okay? We're going to put it on slow and thick. Now, the door, we got it back down. No more cracks in it or up around the top. Okay? Same thing. And then as far as the bed goes, the bed, all we were doing was going back down so we could clean the sanding up like the rest of the truck. Now, the bed liner being fiberglass and being sun baked as bad as it was, had the paint so, as a matter of fact, we'll see if we can see it from the other side here, how bad it, well, you can see it right there. You can see the cracks in the fiberglass like that all the way around. Well, turns out that if you take it down 180 to 220 to 400, you can get almost all of them out. Now, I don't know what this is going to do when I put the paint, because I mean, you can still see it on there, guys. Now, I'm no fiberglass expert by any means. I don't know what this is going to do, okay? Essentially, I'm starting over on this truck, just leaving it at that. But we're getting all the cracks that we can out of it and working it down. But it turns out if you go down far enough, you get past the black on here and get down to the actual hard cracks down there. Now, y'all can see that as well as I can. Do I think it's going to cover? No. But I'm going to do my best to cover it. I'm going to try something different here with the primer. I'm going to put the primer on there. I'm going to use my Harbor Freight purple gun. I'm going to turn the air pressure down and the feed up, okay? So maybe it'll come out slow and lay on kind of thick. Maybe. I don't know if that'll work or not. You know, I'm trying something here. But in the meantime, we still got to sand the rest of that down. But we got the passenger side sanded completely down. All the cracks are gone out of the rest of it. So, and the truck bed is knocked down enough that it's ready for another coat. Luckily, when we did all this, all I did was the base coat before I realized there was a problem. So, that's why I stopped at it. So, there's that, okay? And as you can see, I still got to do the rest of the tailgate, the rest of the bed cover, and all that jazz. So, as I said before, and I'll say it again, guys, you can see all the scratches in that. Don't get in a hurry. That's the effect of getting in a hurry. And I blame no one but myself. But the fact is, guys, the mistakes that I make when I make them, then what would I be? You know, I have to show it all. Fact is, I made a mistake. I own it. It is what it is. Again, guys, you can see all of it in there. And black already shows everything anyway. But, you know, there's somebody around here in this town that did a truck for a guy. It was not me. But he did a truck for a guy, and he didn't even scuff up the original paint. He just sprayed black over the top of the new stuff and then did something. Anyway, it looked just like this, except his is already peeling off. He's the same one did a paint job for my father-in-law, and yeah, his is turning out that way too. You can see more of them cracks right there, guys, how the tonneau cover being made of fiberglass just soaked up that paint. So I don't know what it's going to do. We'll figure it out as I move forward with it. But as I said, guys, I'll show my mistakes so you don't make them, okay? But this coming week, I'm going to finish getting this truck sanded down. Weather hadn't really allowed me to do a whole lot this week. Weather and unfortunate circumstances, and you know, having to run back and forth and just getting back from vacation, just trying to get back into the groove of things. So sorry guys, but this video is kind of all over the place. All right, so forgive me for that one, but hey, I just show you how it is in real life. I ain't trying to be something I'm not. Forgive the glasses, cause that's, again, something I'm not. I got something in my eyes and I gotta wear 4 eyes. I hate that. Anyway, so that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Remember, if it doesn't challenge you, it don't change you. Make sure you do me a favor, hit that little bell notification. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and all that. Oh, new news. Got to show you something else too that I'm excited to try, guys. So excited. We did the copper. We got chrome. Guys, this is from the powder coat store. I'm really starting to dig this powder coating stuff, okay? It's pretty fun. But the powder coat store, this stuff was $26 for a pound of it. The copper was $26 for a pound of it. Now, granted, you can get your black and white at Harbor Freight to go with your gun, but getting the copper and the chrome and all that, my other half is making faces behind the camera. She ran inside. She didn't want to be on camera. But I've been watching these things on this chrome getting laid down. And guys, it's supposed to look really, really good. Keep in mind though, I'll go ahead and tell you this. You're supposed to have a clear coat that goes with it. So you bake your chrome on, and then you have to go back over it with a clear coat. I've already got the clear coat on the way. It was a little bit cheaper than the actual color itself. But I'm so excited to try that stuff out. So check it out, guys. If you do powder coating of any sort, or if you just want to go to Harbor Freight and get you one of these guns, guys, the stuff turns out so awesome. As long as you follow the instructions and all that stuff, it turns out so cool. So there's that. Okay. So be looking for that coming up in the very, very, very near future. All right. But that being said, guys, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Sorry again about the video being so spotty and all over the place, but sometimes that's just how it be. So we'll see you next week.